Cowboys pulling away in the NFC East. The Eagles are at 6-7. They're going to be a game back of whoever loses tonight's game for a final wild card spot. They're still very much in it, but looking at their schedule, it's the Rams and Texans. As far as the Cowboys are concerned, sitting pretty at 8-5. And if we're talking about what we learned from this overtime victory over the Eagles, I'll start with the guy who just hung out with Deion Sanders, a guy who was a non-factor to start the season. Then he gets traded, and he's been there now for 6 weeks. Week 9, he got traded to the Cowboys. He leads the league in receiving in that time. He's making plays. He looks like what we've always thought he could look like and the talent that we know that he has. So it's crazy to me, all of the grief Schrags given to the Cowboys front office and Jerry, a first-round pick for Amari Cooper. What are you doing? Those people look kind of silly right now, especially if they go even further and pull away even more. He had 280 yards and 1 touchdown in 6 games as a Raider. He had 217 yards and 3 touchdowns yesterday alone. A change of scenery is one thing, but more than anything, and I'll hand it over to you, Striggs, for what you learned. It's cool that the Cowboys kind of were so against adding a number 1 wide receiver. There was such rhetoric against having that. They realized it was wrong. They made a mistake, and they went and addressed it, and they might go to the Super Bowl for it.
I had a rival GM laugh on the phone to me and said, a first-round pick, man, Jerry and Will McClay and those guys up and down. Hey, sure, better than us. He's better than every single first-round pick of next year. I promise you that. Amari Cooper, they just have to find a way to pay him. Cha-ching, he made himself some money. What I learned from that game yesterday is that Jason Garrett, something changed because Jason Garrett wasn't calling games like this. And he'll say, no, I've always been the same coach. 4th and 1, overtime, a field goal puts you up 3. Jason Garrett says, we're not giving this team the ball back. They convert the first down. What a play call. What a play call. Remember back in week 5 against the Texans, it was 4th and 1 on the Houston 42, 6:23 left to go in OT. They opted to punt. Sure. Texans came right back down, hit a game-winning field goal. It killed him, and we crushed Garrett on the show. Same situation yesterday. Garrett says, let's trust our bread and butter. They shove it down their throat. And to Eagles fans who are complaining about the officials today, because there's a lot of that right now. We hear you. We understand. Trust me, when you go into Dallas, things happen. The Detroit Lions learned about it in a playoff game. The Saints learned about it in the Thursday night game. We're not saying there's a conspiracy thing. You have to be better than the officials, and you have to find a way to stop the Cowboys. Cowboys dominated the ball. 99 plays of offense, the 3rd most in NFL history, and the most ever against the Eagles. Shout out to Jason Garrett and that offense. What a game plan.
And Dallas beat him in Philly, too, the home field thing. They beat him in both places. If you're someone who sits at home and watches 9 hours of TV every Sunday, all you're looking for is eye candy. And one of my favorite pieces of eye candy is the Jones family booth shot. The reaction, there's always a lot of hugs, a lot of missed high fives and everything, but I feel like we have seen this shot right here more in the last month than I have in the last 10 years. It just is every single week. And you know, they said that Jerry Jones overpays for number 1 wideouts. They said that Amari was going to be Joey Galloway. They said he was going to be Roy Williams, and then they went and turned him into the best receiver they have had in years. Jalen's incredible. Van Der Esch is incredible. It is a great time to be a Cowboy. I think right now, I'm looking at this, I think the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC. I like them as the best team in the NFC because I think their defense is almost as good as the Bears, and I think their offense is a lot better. Saints they beat. The Rams are taking their lumps. I think the Cowboys are the best team.
The best team.
Right now, the Cowboys.
Yeah, and their big 3, they're making an argument to be the best trio in the business, starting with Dak Prescott, playing at a very high level. Ezekiel Elliott is a monster, and of course, you just talked about Amari Cooper and what he brings to the table. But I'll talk about Dak Prescott for a minute. Within this offense, 455 yards. He played unbelievable.
Hey, I would argue Dak Prescott was terrible for 3/4 of this game.
That's fine. Listen, he missed
He
missed a couple throws.
So tell me why you think unbelievable, because he had to turn it around. He was awful in this game.
Listen, he missed a couple throws, but he made the throws he needed to make at the right time. Drew Brees threw a pick and they won. Pat Mahomes threw a pick and they won. Mitchell Trubisky threw 3 interceptions and they won the game. And we're not going to call him terrible. Dak Prescott played unbelievable. Interceptions are going to happen, especially when you go out there and you throw the ball 54 times. Listen, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, I need these guys to be more aggressive and have better play calling and actually stretch the field and then complain when there's interceptions. That's part of the course. But I love the fact that when he needed to make those big plays in a big moment, that guy dropped back and he threw it to his number 1 wide receiver, and Amari Cooper came down with some big plays. When they need to turn around and hand it off to their beast, they gave it to Ezekiel Elliott. Dak Prescott, you're not getting complimented as much as you should, but you're one of the main reasons why the Cowboys are on this win streak. Shout out to Dak.
And shout out to you. You've been high on these Cowboys all along. It's coming together for them at the right time. More highlights up next right here on GMFB. Taysom Hill. How can you not love him?
What a guy.
He does it all. Check it out.